Here is the replay. Eddie Lawson into Krosnoff. No, that is actually Stephanie.
These 4 racing accidents stand out as some of the most horrifying in the sport's history, not only for involving the drivers' lives but also for claiming innocent spectators and track workers, ultimately forcing changes in racing safety. Jeff Krosnoff was an American racing driver who built an international career in open-wheel and sports car racing before reaching kart in 1996. Raised in California, he progressed from karting to Formula Ford, earned multiple wins in Formula Mazda and SCCA competition, and gained recognition as a Rookie of the Year contender in U.S. Series. He spent much of his career in Japan's Formula 3000 and endurance racing, highlighted by a second-place finish at the 1994 24 Hours of Le Mans driving a Toyota. In 1996, he joined Arciero Wells Racing for his rookie season in the Kart IndyCar series. On July 14, 1996, Krosnoff was on lap 92 of the 1996 Molson Indy Toronto in Canada with his Reynard Toyota. Entering the fast turn 3 on Lakeshore Boulevard, his left front wheel interlocked with Stefan Johansson's right rear, launching Krosnoff's car airborne. The car cleared the low concrete wall, flipped high above the track, and struck the catch fencing before hitting a tree and a light pole behind it.
Well, with this rather serious accident over in turn 3, they have just displayed on the front stretch the red and checkered flag. Here is the replay. Eddie Lawson into Krosnoff. No, that is actually Stefan Johansson there. Johansson. And he was moving out to pass another car, which looked like it was Gilles de Ferran. I don't think he saw Krosnoff. He couldn't have seen him.
The monocoque separated from the chassis to a point where Krosnoff's legs were exposed. Corner worker Gary Avrin, standing in an unprotected marshal area, was struck and killed instantly, while another worker, Barbara Johnston, was also hit and suffered a head laceration. Krosnoff was extracted alive, but suffered catastrophic head and chest injuries and died shortly after. The race was then red flagged with no restart. Barriers at turn 3 were waist high, and workers stood between the track and the fence, leaving no protection against airborne cars. A coroner's inquiry confirmed the cause as wheel-to-wheel contact compounded by unsafe barrier placement and issued sweeping safety recommendations. In later years, Toronto rebuilt Turn 3 with 8-foot fencing, relocated marshal positions, and overhauled emergency response access. CART later tightened circuit standards and mandated head and neck restraints too. Willy Ribbs is an established driver in North American motorsport, earning Trans Am Series Rookie of the Year honors in 1983 and becoming the first African-American driver to test a Formula One car in 1986. By 1990, Ribbs joined Rayner Cosby Racing to compete in the IndyCar World Series, driving a Judd-powered Lola T 89/00. On September 2, 1990, Ribbs entered the inaugural Molson Indy Vancouver, a temporary 1.7-mile street circuit constructed around BC Place Stadium in British Columbia. The tight track layout was defined by narrow concrete walls and chicanes with minimal visibility and runoff. On lap 16 of the race, Canadian driver Ross Bentley misjudged Turn 5. The entry leg of a tight left-right chicane, causing his Lola Cosworth to run off course and stall. A team of 4 track marshals crossed the active track and successfully bump-started Bentley's car. As the marshals turned to sprint back across the circuit to their post on the opposite side, concrete jersey barriers along the inner edge of the chicane completely blocked sightlines between oncoming race cars and the returning workers. Ribbs entered the blind corner at full race speed without any visual indication or yellow flag warning that marshal were still on the track.
Fully aware that if he stays in front, it's a little bit of a clear run. There's the 27 car as they try to push it off the circuit. That's Ross Bentley. Whoa!
Rounding the concrete barrier, Ribbs was unable to avoid the running workers, striking 3 marshals. Marshal Bradley Weeks was launched into the air by the rear wing, sustaining a broken leg, while the other escaped with minor injuries. However, 20-year-old Marshal Jean-Patrick Hein from Montreal was struck by the left rear tire, thrown hard onto the asphalt, and run over, sustaining catastrophic head and internal trauma before dying later that evening at St. Paul's Hospital. The race continued under a full-course safety car caution, allowing Ribbs to finish 10th for his best result of the season. The tragedy exposed fundamental flaws in urban street circuit marshalling, forcing North American sanctioning bodies to permanently ban track workers from entering live track surfaces until active traffic is fully slowed by caution flags. Wolfgang Von Trips was a 33-year-old racer who entered the 1961 Formula One season as a leading contender for the World Championship. Born into German nobility in 1928, he became a Ferrari works driver and achieved 2 Grand Prix victories in 1961 at Zandvoort and Aintree. Driving the Ferrari 156, he led the championship heading into the Italian Grand Prix at Monza, with teammate Phil Hill as his closest rival. Known for his speed and bold style, Von Trips was at the peak of his career and on the verge of potentially becoming Germany's first Formula One world champion. The decisive moment came during the Italian Grand Prix at Autodromo Nazionale Monza. On lap 2, as the field raced at about 160 to 170 miles per hour, Von Trips made contact with Jim Clark while approaching the Parabolica corner. His Ferrari was deflected off the track, climbed the embankment, and struck the single line of fencing separating the circuit from spectators. Obviously, the barrier failed to contain the car, allowing it to enter the crowded spectator area.
Until Hill and Rodriguez passed Clark on the Monza banking. But catastrophe was to strike on lap 2. Clark's Lotus and Von Trips' Ferrari collided while braking for the Parabolica. The Ferrari flew off the track, ejecting its driver and causing him fatal injuries.
The impact killed multiple spectators instantly and injured many others standing just behind the fence. The location of the crowd, positioned close to the track with minimal protection, turned the accident into one of the deadliest in motorsport history for bystanders. Von Trips was thrown from the car and killed. Around 15 spectators lost their lives, with 60 injured, exposing the severe lack of adequate crowd protection at the time. The race itself continued, reflecting the standards of the era. The use of Monza's high-speed combined layout was abandoned in 1969 for Formula One, and attention shifted toward improving fencing, runoff areas, and spectator distance from the track. Toru Takahashi was a young Japanese racing driver from Hiroshima who was rapidly climbing the national motorsport ladder. Known as the wing car prodigy, he excelled in ground effect cars. He won multiple junior formula races and in 1982 finished among the top drivers in the All Japan Formula 3 Championship. In 1983, he campaigned in Japan's Premier Series, the Fuji Grand Champion Series, and the All Japan Formula 2 Championship. By October 1983, Takahashi had become one of Japan's most promising talents. Teammate Aguri Suzuki later recalled that if Takahashi had lived, he would definitely have been in F1. On October 23, 1983, the season finale of the Fuji Grand Championship, the Fuji Masters 250 kilometers, was held at Fuji Speedway. Over 30,000 spectators lined the track, drawn by Japan's top sports prototype contest. In the Fuji Masters race, Takahashi was running second and pressuring veteran Kazuyoshi Hoshino for the lead on the second lap. Video and reports indicate Takahashi's MCS4 BMW, a chassis by March Engineering with a BMW engine and also a ground effect prototype, appeared stable through the fast corners. Suddenly, at the last corner exit, his car spun on its own late in the turn, without obvious collision. As the car spun at around 155 miles per hour, its underbody lost the normal Venturi downforce. In effect, the ground effect aerodynamics reversed, so the car's floor plus suspension rebounds after loads come off, and air gets under the car, making the car act like a wing. The car flew roof first toward the spectator fence.
完全に車が浮き上がりました。ドライバー、これはちょっと気を失ってますね。失神状態です。大丈夫です。
Tragically, the crash killed Takahashi and one female spectator instantly. According to police reports, 3 other spectators were injured by flying debris. Takahashi was pulled from the wreck and taken to the circuit's medical center, but was pronounced dead. He was just 23 years old. After the crash, the Grand Champion Series introduced stricter safety measures, including circuit changes and attention to aerodynamic instability, with flat-bottom rules being adopted later in international single-seater categories.